From the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
It's in time for a look at this morning's top stories. A nursing home in Hayward is getting hit especially hard by the coronavirus outbreak. The Alameda County Public Health Department says 9 people have died at Gateway Care and Rehabilitation Center on Patrick Avenue. 32 have tested positive. Starting today, the city of Oakland is starting the temporary shutdown of 74 miles of street to vehicles. The idea is to encourage people to walk and exercise in neighborhoods and give them enough room for social distancing. People who live on those streets will be allowed to drive on them. Many Bay Area parks and their parking lots are shutting down this Easter weekend in an effort to enforce the stay-at-home directive. 68 residents and 2 staff members at San Francisco's largest homeless shelter have tested positive for coronavirus. It's believed to be the largest outbreak reported at a single homeless shelter in the U.S. Meanwhile, state leaders say California is making progress flattening the coronavirus curve, but they emphasize it's crucial that people continue physical distancing practices. Two of Silicon Valley's largest companies are joining forces to fight coronavirus with smartphone technology. Apple and Google are working to enable contact tracing, a measure that identifies people who've been exposed to the virus and those they have been in contact with. Starting next month, the software will allow health officials to gather detailed data on the whereabouts of cell phone users. Data will only be gathered from users who voluntarily download the apps and participate in the program. Some encouraging news coming from one Bay Area coronavirus clinical trial. Researchers at Gilead say patients who have tested remdesivir have either improved or shown no new symptoms. The drug was created to treat Ebola, and now 53 patients with severe COVID-19 symptoms are taking part in the trial. It has still not been licensed or approved. The Danville Police Department is asking residents for medical supplies to help out frontline workers in need of personal protective equipment. The donation drive, named Operation Love, is at the Village Theater Art Gallery. Items like masks, disinfectant wipes, gloves, gowns, hand sanitizer, and brown lunch bags for nurses to store their masks can be donated.
We need these things that you have. Extra things that you're at home, just bring them to us, because there's a desperate need out there, and if our communities participate, then you can help us. Thank you.
The drive began on Friday. Donations will be accepted today from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. San Francisco has just launched a text to 911 service because of an increase in domestic violence calls since the COVID-19 stay-at-home order began. The new text option aims to provide a safe way for victims to contact authorities.
It's critical for our city to be able to provide a lifeline for those who are distressed but can't call 911. Often those individuals may be people who aren't in a safe place who can directly call 911, so this resource is a game changer.
If you need to use the feature, be sure to include your location and specify if police, fire, or medical crews are needed. And starting tomorrow, help for Californians who've lost their jobs. They will start seeing an extra $600 in weekly unemployment benefits for 4 months. This will be applied to workers who have lost their jobs linked to coronavirus shutdowns. It's part of the federal bailout approved by Congress. Amtrak is also getting a boost from the government. The Department of Transportation is making $1 billion available to offset the losses of ticket revenue. The funds will be used to pay employees and help maintain service once the economy gets going again. As the coronavirus crisis continues, it's unclear when spectator sports will resume. Right now, Major League Baseball is contemplating several scenarios, including this intriguing one reported by USA Today. It would involve a shortened season with all games played before empty ballparks in Arizona and Florida. The temporary realignment would divide the teams into the Cactus and Grapefruit leagues with 3 divisions in each league. The Cactus League, the Northeast Division, would include the A's, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Cubs. The geography is based on each team's spring training location. The idea is to reduce travel and minimize health risks. Now, meanwhile, A's closing pitcher Liam Hendriks and his wife Christy have donated 100 lunches from the Audubon Cafe in Oakland to the police department. It's to thank police for helping keep everyone safe during the outbreak. According to the San Jose Mercury News, the Hendricks plan to do the same for Alameda Police. In baseball news, in basketball news, ESPN reports the NBA teams are hoping to talk the league into moving the draft from June 25th to no sooner than August 1st. The teams hope that a later draft date would allow for in-person workouts and interviews with prospects. Those are currently banned by the NBA because of the coronavirus guidelines. And it turns out that the second time was not the charm for the upstart football league known as the XFL. Yesterday, the XFL suspended operations, terminated all employees, and has no plans to return for the 2020-21 season. The league, a division of the World Wrestling Entertainment, initially failed after a single season back in 2001. This season was interrupted after 5 weeks by the coronavirus pandemic. The league has no teams in Northern California. Let's take you to Austria. The Vienna Zoo is showing off a baby ring-tailed lemur. After only breastfeeding and sleeping for a few weeks, the young primate has started climbing on its mother's back and discovering its surroundings. We don't know the sex yet. We don't know the gender yet. The ring-tailed lemurs are native to Madagascar, but ongoing deforestation has put the species on the endangered list.
Taking a live look outside at that very gray start to the day. It's not only here in the city where the clouds have got most of the sky covered. It's pretty much Bay Area wide today. And it'll stay that way until we get into the early part of the afternoon for most of us. We're in the low to mid 50s out there now. We're going to warm up those numbers for daytime highs into the mid and upper 60s. And that's once we get into the sunshine for most of us by the early afternoon. And then we're going to warm up more tomorrow. Tomorrow will be about 5 degrees warmer than you experience Saturday being, and then it will be 10 degrees warmer than this by the middle of next week. So there's a warm-up coming in the 7-day forecast. But it'll be cloudy mornings for today and tomorrow, no rain this weekend. And that warm-up shows up once you start to take a look at Tuesday and Wednesday in the 7-day. Upper 70s, near 80 in fact, by Tuesday of this next coming week. And even in the Bay, we'll be in the low to mid 70s. So that shows you we're going to clear out these low gray clouds for much of the week. It's just the weekend that's going to be gray for the mornings and into the early afternoon for some of us. There you have it, Devin.
I think emergency managers know that the nicer and nicer the weather gets, the harder it's going to be to kind of enforce these shelter-in-place orders.
Yeah, parks were already kind of getting, I think, a little full by the time we got to Friday. So I think it's going to be an issue that the fine line is going to have to be walked.
All right, thanks so much. It is time for us to call it a morning. Thank you so much for watching KPIX 5 News. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.